We live? I think we're live. Switch it to voice. Waiting on Sunday afternoon for what I read between the lines. Your lies. Feeling like I had a rusty chain. Do you laugh or do you cry? Reply. Train only yesterday. You lied, promises what I seem to be. Only watch the time go by. All these things that you said to me. It's the hardest thing to do when all I've said and all I've said for you, you lied. Leaving the southern train only yesterday, you lied. Promises what I seem to be. Only watch the time go by. All the things I said to you. Something like that.
That was it. I think that was it.
The song.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Nice to see you, kids. 2 Timothy 3, Palmetto Paratrooper, Jennifer, Monkey Mommy, Pam Wade, 4 Floridians and a Cajun. That's a story right there. Sir Vancelot, Tattoo. Patricia and Melissa and Kinjo51 and Diana. And O'Keefe's Farm, Monkey Food Garden. Gardening for Hope and Deb and Backcountry Living and William and Molly and Alan and Robin and ZMB Lion. I hope that shirt is holding up for you. And Grandmom Zoo and Kevin and Elle and Red Setter Farm and Jeremy. Hey, nice to see y'all.
Everybody's here.
Nice to see you all. Oh, we're getting there.
Now that you've done all the introductions, we can just end the stream, right?
Yeah, thanks all for watching.
Actual content ends here. I have to go to worship practice.
All right, I'll catch you later. That's one of the songs.
On that note,
that's the one.
Oh yeah, we play Stone Temple Pilots every service.
It does
Everybody
have a
gets
temple
their
in
big
it.
lighters out, you know. Yeah, it's got a temple out. It's got a temple in the name. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
we play Stairway to Heaven to close off the service when everybody's emotional for the altar call. It's incredible.
That's amazing.
It's very powerful, really. The church is a heck of a thing. Music can move people.
See you later. Oh man, I'll tell you what, my voice was a mess for a long time. You know, I got really quite sick. 5 days of being sick, and then I still have it. But yeah, I know I shaved, and people were like, "What happened to you?" Actually, I went to a Halloween party as a friend of mine who was going to be there, so he's clean shaven. So I just dressed like he did and went. I said, you know, I shaved the beard off. My beard was turning all gray anyways. So what are you gonna do? No, I don't miss the beard. It's fine. You know, I like to change every once in a while anyways. So, I just get tired. I just get tired of doing the same thing. Alright, so... well, I don't know if you saw my post today on thesurvivalgardener.com. You know what? I'm gonna read it to you. It's actually a post full of photos. So it's even funnier to read it to you. Actually, I'm gonna sing it to you. So you know, this is a very, we try to share a lot of useful information here, but some people are auditory learners, and some people are auditory learners, but only through music. I'm sure that's the case. So the post is called, "And that's all, folks. Jack Frost is here. It's the first frost of 2023, November 2nd. First frost came through last night somewhere on the edge of All Saints Day and All Souls Day." Today's All Souls Day, by the way. "The compost pile pumpkin is signing off after a ridiculously productive summer and a fall." Oh, I feel like we should go to a minor. "It was still making new pumpkins. I think it would continue for many months if we'd been in a tropical climate." And speaking of tropicals, the yam vines were hit as well. "They'll live until a harder frost, and I hope they'll put more growth into their roots before the very end. Though I don't know how much they really do when it's cold and dry. I wish we could see the root development over time." Overtime. Well, there's not a second overtime in the post, but I just threw it in there just stylistic purposes. "The brassicas are covered in frost, but they should bounce back. Though this will be the end of the Everglades tomatoes. Those tomatoes kept running right through the brutal heat and drought of summer and have been highly productive until last night, and that's it. It's really hard to beat Everglades tomatoes. As a bonus, my daughter sells the seeds from our garden and everybody loves them. They're basically a beloved weed in our grocery rows, and now reseed in the spring, and it's been a good year. We harvested the sugar cane from our yard over the last few days and probably got 115 to 200 pounds. It wasn't a great yield due to the drought, but the cane is certainly sweet. The yield board is at almost 2,000 pounds, and I haven't counted the sugar cane yet or harvested the yams. Thank you for your blessings, Lord. Today we hope to finish a video on the greenhouse. Stay tuned." That's the end of my post. That's the end of my post. End of my post. So anyhow, that's what's going on right now. I hope you caught all of that. Feel free to review the video if you want to learn more about what I wrote in today's post. But there you go. So here we go. We had that silly pumpkin from the compost pile. It is over 300 pounds of pumpkins, and it was still continuing. There's like, I don't know how many more pumpkins on the vine right now. Probably 12 to 15 on the vine right now, and it was still making baby pumpkins. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the productivity is nuts. So anyhow, I have decided that this next year I am not bothering. I am not going to bother with trying to make little hills for pumpkins. No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that anymore. Now all I'm doing is I'm making big compost piles and dumping a ton of junk and then throwing rotten pumpkin on top of it to just let it go. So that's it. That's what I'm going to do. So I've already started one. I mean, I'm sure you're like, what? Did he already start one? Yes, I already started one. So I got some rotten chicken, some chicken that didn't go in the chicken pit, and some shrimp shells, and I made a pile of them, and then I covered them with some grass clippings, and then I covered them with some coffee grounds, and then I am going to cover them with a whole bunch more garden waste. So from there, we're just gonna keep mounting stuff on top of it. I'll go and get some manure. I'll go and maybe get some wood chips. I don't know, just whatever I find. I'll probably throw some ashes in there. I'm just gonna make a big mound of rotten organic material, and go ahead and plant my pumpkins on top of that. And all I honestly need, look, one compost pile produced over 300 pounds of pumpkins. I had multiple hills of pumpkins that I planted out in the food forest that gave me a few pumpkins each here and there. I mean, maybe we got 80 or 100 pounds of little pumpkins here and there from the food forest. Ridiculous. But the amount that we got from the accidental pumpkins that planted themselves in the compost pile, over 300 pounds. So what does that mean? That means I need to make like 4 or 5 big compost piles with all the junk that I can find. All the waste I can get. The compost pile was probably about 2 feet tall and like 4 feet across or something like that. We had actually harvested some out of it before the pumpkins came up. So that's the way we're doing it. So I was thinking, you know what, if we had five compost piles full of pumpkins, holy moly. I mean, if we had 5 times 300, 1,500 pounds of pumpkin, you know, I know you're thinking that like that's too much pumpkin. But it's not too much pumpkin. You can never have too much pumpkin. No, the reason I say it's not too much pumpkin is because if you get extra produce like that, you don't have to eat it all. You can give some of it away. Yeah, you can keep some of it. You can store it for a long time. You can have pumpkins through the entire year. But you're going to get sick of pumpkins. Even with 300 pounds of pumpkins, you pretty much get tired of pumpkins. And even just 300 pounds, you know. And now we're dividing 300 pounds of pumpkins among 12 people in the house. So that makes it disappear quicker. But, you know, if you have way too much of something, you've got to think what you can turn that thing into. So chickens like to eat pumpkins. Cows will eat pumpkins. Pigs love to eat pumpkins. I actually stopped by a store the other day. I was at a nursery, and you know how they have those displays of pumpkins out front that everybody was buying for Halloween, and now you don't have as many people buying pumpkins. You get a few more sold for, you know, Thanksgiving decorations maybe, but the big pumpkin buying is over. So I asked him, I said, you know, when you get rid of these pumpkins, I saw you had them marked down. If you start getting rid of them, I said, I'll happily take them. I'll take all your pumpkins. And they said, actually, we threw away a trash bag or 2 earlier today. You can go help yourself. So I went back to their dumpster, and I got a trash bag full of pumpkins and a few more random pumpkins that have been thrown in there. So those went right home to the pigs. Pigs ate them. I mean, they'll just eat raw pumpkins like crazy. They don't care. So even if you didn't want to eat them all, there's other options. You know, you can also scrape the seeds out of the middle of the pumpkins, roast the seeds, and eat them because they're high quality food. And they taste good and they're good for you. And you could throw the rest of the pumpkin into your compost pile. Because if you throw any seeds into your compost pile, you know what's going to happen now. It's going to be insane. The Catnip Life says, vine borers always get my squashes and pumpkins. You know, they generally get my summer squash, and they get my Cucurbita maximas. But Cucurbita machata tends to outgrow them here, especially if they get a really good run at the beginning. They root all along the stems, and then you just put a little dirt, or you know, you can put dirt mounds here and there as the stems grow, and they'll root even faster. And then it becomes compartmentalized. If a vine borer gets into one piece of it, it doesn't kill the entire vine because there's so many other sets. I've had pumpkin vines just get cut in half because we ran them over with a car or something. And the other half of the pumpkin vine keeps growing and making pumpkins because they root so aggressively into the ground. So that's something to think about. Sometimes that'll actually allow it, you know. So I still have not had my throat clear all the way after being sick. It's kind of ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm really excited about getting so many pumpkins, and the productivity of that sort of thing is ridiculous. And that pumpkin just kept going all the way until the frost. It started in the spring. It made us a whole bunch of pumpkins by July, and then it looked like it was going to die back. It got really hot and dry, and it was wilty, and it wasn't making much, but there were a few more pumpkins on it I was letting ripen up. And then the weather started to cool off, and it just went ahead and made a ton more pumpkins. Like, ridiculous. I mean, another dozen pumpkins or so are on there. Now, I don't know, a lot of them they're still green. They're pretty filled out, but they're still green, and this frost may have damaged them. I don't know. If they look like they're starting to fail or they're not really going to ripen up, I'll just throw them to the pigs. The pigs don't care if they get a little fermented. They just don't. They'll turn it into bacon. So that's a thought. But anyhow, there's, too much food is not really a problem. You can always give it away. You can compost it. You can feed it to animals, and then you can eat the animals. Carol Depp, who does a lot of vegetable breeding, she's a highly intelligent woman. She wrote Breed Your Own Vegetable Varieties. She also wrote a book called The Resilient Gardener, both of which I recommend. Good books. She talks in The Resilient Gardener about using the extra culls and the extra off-type pumpkins that she grows. And when she's trying to breed, she gets a lot of pumpkins. She's got to go through a lot of produce to get what she wants. So she takes them and she feeds them to her chickens. She also feeds potatoes to her chickens. So when she's breeding, it's like she concentrates on some of these things that she's trying to breed, and the extras, she makes a big pot of mash, throw it over to the chickens. So, you're recycling it. You're keeping your birds alive. So, the animals could be pets. I guess you could feed your pets your food. I mean, if you want to, but no, I'd rather eat them. Because we're trying to recycle this food. So I'm turning the food into bacon, and we're turning it into eggs and chicken and all that kind of thing. So number 11 is not here yet. Baby number 11 is due at the end of this month. So my wife has just not been in great shape to be a camera lady lately and to film, so we haven't done a lot of videos. We've been really busy too, finishing up the greenhouse, and I've been doing a lot of work on the nursery, which reminds me, we're going to have a nursery sale this weekend. I haven't posted the details on it yet, but it will be at the nearby town of Atmore, where they have a really cheap flea market that we go to. Flea market Saturday from 8 to 2. No, 8 to 1. There we go. Plant sale. So we're going to do a knockdown, drag out plant sale. This is the end of the year blowout sale. We've got to clear out our stock, so we will make deals and we will trade you plants for pots. We really, really need pots in the nursery. So if you want to come out, if you're within an hour or so, I think it'll be worth coming, because we've got things like, we've got some weird rare stuff, and I also will I will bring some. I'm going to just write it down. So the police don't get me. No, we have very non-invasive rare yam variety bulbils right now, and we will have cassava and sugar cane cuttings and some other stuff that we have for the first time in abundance this year. So if you want to, come on over to the flea market, and I will answer gardening questions for free. So we will do the sale, and we are trading. We trade any pot of 1 gallon size or larger. I will trade you 50 cents store credit, because that's about what I pay for pots usually. And I really would rather reuse old pots than have them print new pots. There's so many pots that get thrown away or just stored up elsewhere. I will trade pots for plants. So if you want to come out to our plant sale, it's gonna be awesome. I mean, I've got a lot of cool stuff. So Maggie, I can't do anything about it being out of sync. That's just probably a YouTube streaming problem. Hopefully it's not too much of an issue. So, yes, we will do an awesome plant sale. We've got potato mint, we've got Tithonia diversifolia, we will have the rare yams, we will have the cassava, the sugar cane, all that stuff. So, can you compost beard? Yeah, sure, you can compost your beard. I actually did. It's on the compost pile that I'm going to grow pumpkins on. I cut my hair short and cut the beard off. I just got tired of it, you know. And now I look more Catholic instead of more Orthodox. I kind of look like an Orthodox priest before, and now I look Catholic. So we just, you know, we just went to from east to west. That's all. William did call it. It is in the compost pile. Exactly right. That's pretty funny. So anyhow, we are coming to the end of the gardening season. We're gonna hit 2,000 pounds of produce. I know it. We've pulled in the sweet potatoes now. We got over 200 pounds of sweet potatoes despite the drought. We should have gotten a lot more cassava. I'm just going to leave the cassava in the ground and mulch over the bases of them so they can grow this next year because it was just not wet enough. Like from middle of July, it pretty much stopped raining. And so the hot, wet time of the year, usually July and August, it's just pouring wet. And it starts to dry up a little more in September, but it's still raining. And then October and November start to get dry. This year, it was like we probably got, 1 inch of rain per month or less. And the tropical stuff would have produced for us much better. You saw the harvest of cassava we got the other year where, the cassava were this big around and that long. They're not as big as they get in a tropical climate, but it's still plenty harvestable. But we got some decent sized cassava plants, but they're not nearly big enough, and the roots are only about that big around on most of them, and it's not correct. It's just not, it's not going to cut it. So we're just going to let them grow through the next year, and hopefully, by summer of next year, they will be big enough to harvest. I did this in North Florida before. You don't get enough growth on them, and you just carry through the next year. You mulch over the base and just let it sleep. Let it sleep right on through. So that's not gonna really contribute to our yield this year like it did in previous years. Usually we could get at least 100 pounds or so of cassava from a few plants, maybe 10 plants or so, and we're not gonna get that. So we did get maybe 150, 200 pounds of sugarcane, but I'm going to use it for propagation. I'm going to plant out more. We have a couple of varieties that are pretty uncommon that I want to propagate. I'm also looking for some more of the rare types. There's like a Buddha's belly type, and there's some striped types, and there's a white type and a black type. I think it would be really cool to have a collection of different sugar canes that we could offer in the nursery, but I'm hunting for affordable varieties or ones that I can trade for because some of them are just ridiculously expensive for a little piece like this for $40, and I don't really want to pay that. I want to plant some and get them propagated and get them out there. We're not really in a major sugarcane growing area here. Probably I would have more luck if I was over in Louisiana right now. I should probably just drive over to Louisiana, but I don't know. So the most of that we're not going to make sugar out of. It was also a bad year for sugarcane because we had a late frost at the beginning of the year, which knocked it back by a few weeks, and then it got super dry when it should have been wet, and it should have been really running and happy, and it was just the dirt was dust, and it was just struggling along to make canes. So the canes are shorter, they're not nearly as long and as strong as they should have been. So it's one of those years for sugarcane. not great. So what I'm going to do is propagate most of it, replant most of it, put a lot of it in pots. So the varieties that I do have, we can sell some of them in the spring. We can get people started with them early in the year from the plant nursery, because now that we have the greenhouse, we could carry stuff through. So we're going to do the same thing with cassava. We'll have cassava and sugarcane and chaya and other plants that normally you can't find here, that we'll have them early in the year and ready to go. And I hope also to have lots of the white sweet potato slips and the purple sweet potato slips ready for the spring, because our purple variety was amazing. It's super, super dark, creamy type. I got it. I think it's an experimental variety that I got. I don't have the name on it. The white type I just got from a grocery store, but it makes the most ridiculously big roots if you leave it in the ground, and the roots are good. So that's a really neat one. And so we hope to do some of that stuff for the spring, now that we have the greenhouse. Carolyn, thank you very much for the super chat. Much appreciated. This is the time of year when our revenue drops like through the floor everywhere across the board. Nobody's buying gardening books. People are not watching as many gardening videos. So I'm always happy for super chats, especially just because Carolyn is so sweet and she's my friend. So I would love Carolyn even if she didn't give me super chats, but super chats, you know, it's better. It's funny. All right, where are we? I want to see. How do you overwinter the Mexican sunflowers? Donna asks. That's a great question. So normally with the Mexican sunflowers, that is Tithonia diversifolia. Tithonia diversifolia. They usually do not grow from seed inside of the United States. So if you see Tithonia seeds or Mexican sunflower seeds for sale, it's usually rotundifolia. But Tithonia diversifolia gets about 15 to 20 feet tall. It's ridiculous. It makes a huge amount of biomass, a lot for your compost pile. It's a real good fodder for animals, and it's a great chop and drop for building soil. You can just chop it and chop it and drop it and chop it and drop it, and it comes back 3 or 4 times a year. You can go out there and cut it. Now, it's probably only hardy to maybe zone 8A. The top of it will freeze off completely. Here it freezes down to the ground mostly. But if you've got it established early in the year, by the time it's late in the year, it's a big, strong clump. I mean, it'll have 10 giant canes growing out of it. So when it freezes, there's a lot of root mass underneath, and a lot of the leaves and stuff tend to fall down into the middle of it. And if you mulch over it, it's even better. But that clump will freeze down, and then in the spring, it comes back. So most always, they come back for us. So if I mulch over it, I know it'll come back. If I don't mulch over it, it'll almost certainly come back. But if it's a little plant and it freezes, it's probably going to die. So if you plant it late in the year, just keep it in a pot and overwinter it, bring it in and out, you know, or keep it on your porch or something out of hard cold. If you're up in a zone 7 or so, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going to happen. So that's the way we overwinter it. And I also always take some cuttings and I stick some cuttings in pots and keep them just in case my plants die, but I always have some come back. So let's see what we have here. Sheldon says, I look clean and good. Well, thank you. Sean says, it's true, he loves me even though I'm poor and never gives super chats. No, you don't have to super chat me. I love you anyways. The greenhouse is done. Drought is king in 2023. Tricky Vicky says, I grow cassava in Vero Beach, Florida. I have cuttings. I paid Pete Canaris $30 for 6 cuttings of these Togo 8-month fast maturing variety. I have heard of Togo, that it's a quick one. Very nice. And it's producing fast for you? That's good. Now there is a variety that we grew down on the island that would produce in about 4 to 5 months. It would produce usable roots. It made a smaller, rounder root. And the plants were only about 3 to 4 feet tall. It was like a dwarf variety that produced very quickly usable roots. Let me see if I can change my streaming setting so it's not dragging. I can see it's getting jerky. Let me see if I can output the bitrate lower. Let's see if that changes it. Change the bitrate down, take a third off it. I might look a little worse, but that might be an improvement. Daisy Finn says, are pole beans and bush beans able to cross? If they are in the same species, yes. There are often pole bean and bush bean varieties of the same species, like yellow wax bean, you know, could cross with, say, Kentucky pole bean. However, they don't cross that easily. You can usually grow beans next to each other and save the seeds without them crossing. They only cross occasionally if an insect manages to make its way inside of one of the flowers. Almost always the flowers self-pollinate, and beans tend to come back in the same line, and they can inbreed to themselves on and on and on without being destroyed. So it's a, you know, it's possible to cross them, but usually you would have to pull the flowers apart and cross them on purpose. Chop and drop and rake and shake. Good gardeners don't take a break. That's right. Nice. Oh, awesome, Donna, that yours are flowering. They should be pretty big then. Tricky Vicky says, if I was going to do Mexican sunflowers, I would just do sunchokes. Yeah, the benefit of the Tithonia diversifolia is how incredibly huge they are. The amount of biomass they make is way higher than what the sunchokes do. But if you're in an area where, like zone 8 and colder, definitely do the sunchokes. That would be the next best thing. The sunchokes also have the benefit of making all of those tuberous roots, which are worth feeding to your pigs. I don't necessarily recommend eating them, but they're good animal fodder. And the Tithonia diversifolia does not have that. One thing the Tithonia diversifolia is good for, though, that I have not seen anybody write on, is the stems. If you chop them down and you leave the stems all over the ground, they dry out over a time. And if they're not rotting down into mulch and they're just laying on top of the ground and it's been moderately dry, those stems, once all the leaves have fallen off and they've dried out, are a really good fast fuel for a rocket stove. So you can boil your morning coffee over them because they're really, really straight canes. It's never over, you fool. Well, what? It depends on what you mean. I mean, eventually there will be a last judgment, and then it'll definitely be over. But of course, for those of us that survive, it'll be, you know, the beginning. As for the growing season, it's mostly over. And for those of you that's further north, it's over. Tricky Vicky says, last year I harvested like 40 pounds from one plant of cassava, but I let them grow 12 months. That's great. I pulled one as a test, and it was 6 pounds of cassava. That's all we got. So that is what you need, the gigantic ones. Switch Chart says, how do you get rid of sweet potato in a bed? Well, first you pull all the vines and all the roots that you can get. Then you water the bed, and a few weeks later, shoots will come up where there are potatoes that you missed. The shoots will tell you where the potatoes are. Just dig those and pull them. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, maybe they're throttling me down. I don't know. The last time I tried to do a stream, it did the same thing. It choked out. So, Diana says, I bought my sugarcane in the store like you recommended, and I now have sugarcane in my backyard. I don't know what kind it is. I've seen some interesting ones in the store. I got, and at the farmer's markets, I got a green one and a red type by the side of the road, about 5 miles apart at 2 different farm booths. And then I actually went into town a week or 2 later, and I went to an oriental market, and I got a type that had really tight internodes. It was a really thick, dark red type with very tight nodes on it. I've never seen that type before, and I've never seen it again. I don't have it anymore. Anita says, going to try growing hops. Do you have any experience? No, I put them in the ground once, and I grew them for a little while, and they died out on me. I do not grow marijuana. I don't like marijuana. As I've said before, I used to be in favor of legalization, but after I've had so many marijuana enthusiasts leaving me really long, bizarre comments on my blog, I'm in favor of the death penalty for possession. Why don't I like to eat sunchokes? Because the sunchokes really, really mess with your gut. I mean, I cannot eat them without the worst abdominal pain. They create inulin, so they're not a readily digestible root. You know, you'll see these things like, it makes more calories per acre than any crop. It's the best survival crop in the world. But then you eat it and you feel like you're going to die. Now, I've heard not everybody feels like they're going to die when they eat it, but if you eat them in any appreciable quantity, I can eat potatoes and fill up on potatoes. If I filled up on Jerusalem artichokes, I would have severe pain for, probably 24 hours. So I don't eat them. I grew them before. I tried to eat them a few times. I said, I'm not eating these things anymore. They cause a huge amount of gas. They don't digest well, and inulin is not particularly easy to digest. So it's a crop that I like to grow, but I don't like to eat. Let's see where we are. Sheldon, I'm making a joke. You should see the comments though on I did a post on how to identify plants that look like marijuana, and I started to get lots of potheads leaving me comments. And it was like, you don't understand, marijuana is the most beautiful plant in the world. It's got everything in this whole thing. Everybody should grow marijuana. I use marijuana regularly. And I'm like, you know what? Death penalty. Just for being annoying. Monkey Mommy says, great, is that why you sold them to us? Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. Sean says, sunchokes give you all the calories you need for the rest of your life because you immediately try to die after eating them. Donna says, I'm in 9A and my passion fruit never flowered. Do I bring it in for the winter? It depends. If it's in the ground, I would leave it in the ground and I would mulch around it. And preserve some of the stem. Cut it back to the stem and mulch around that stem. Put a ring of wire around it. Fill it up full of leaves or something and protect it. And then, just uncover it in the spring and it should grow just fine. And then it'll bloom for you almost certainly. If it's still in a pot, yeah, just bring it in. Usually they grow a long ways and then they start flowering. We All Mad here says, David, thank you so much for inspiring me to grow things. We moved here 7 years ago and you were the first Florida gardener I watched. I planted so many fruit trees. Many I started from seed. That is awesome. Thank you very much. It's funny to think I've been doing the Florida gardening thing and writing about it since about 2011. That's when I was like, I finally got it figured out after a few decades of gardening. Florida is not an easy state to garden in unless you know how to do it, and then it becomes fun. When you find the crops that actually like the climate, it's really fun. But you have to find adapted crops. I don't know if you guys know the YouTube channel Florida Bullfrog. Florida Bullfrog is a highly intelligent guy. And we got into a argument over chickens and how to raise chickens some years ago. And he wrote me this long email about why his way of free-ranging chickens, etc., was correct. And when he sent me that email, I said, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. He has knowledgeable on-the-ground experience and has done his research. So I withdrew my argument on predator protection, etc., and I said, tell me more. So he gave me a ton of information on it, and I said, you know what, man? This is so good. You need to write a book on it. So he has actually written the book, and I am working on getting it published right now. Survival Chickens. Better Chickens Through Genetics. It's utterly fascinating. the history, how chickens got to be where they are, what type of chickens you want for your backyard, what sort of chickens you could just randomly release in the woods and they would live. It's so amazing. But I had taken a similar approach with plants, and he was chiding me. He's like, why would you cage your chickens up? But look at your plants. You just let them survive or die. And then you select the ones that work the best. Why couldn't you do that with chickens? I don't know. Because that was a blank spot in my head, and I hadn't applied the reasoning all the way. So he's applied the reasoning, and the book is unbelievable. When it comes out, you're going to find it, at the very least, you will find it incredibly fascinating. Even if you don't try what he says. But he has been adapting chickens and capturing chickens from feral populations and tracing chicken genetic lines back to Greece and Persia. So cool. I chopped up the sunchokes and I fried them till they were soft. That's how we ate them. Dave ain't here. That's funny. Michael says, LOL, as I look at my pot. It's okay. They're not going to ever enforce it. Seriously, though, they should have just, they're doing all this stuff, you know, all this registering and doing dispensaries. They're putting these ugly dispensaries up everywhere. It's like, seriously, come on. Why do you have to do it like that? Why do you have to all the licensing and stuff like that? Just stop enforcing all your laws and let people grow what they want. My goodness. I do think that sunchokes are quite tasty, but if I ate them in any quantity, man, it's painful. Liberty Not Licensed says, is there any truth to the rumors going around that a petition has been started to outlaw velvet bean in your county because of one person's backyard and unrelenting increase in good family size? Yeah, that's hilarious. That's funny. The velvet bean, for those of you who don't know, is a testosterone booster, and it also has dopamine precursors in it. It's good for treating Parkinson's, but it's I have grown and consumed it, and yes, I do have 11 children. He lost me when he supported calling bald eagles. Bald eagles and potheads, man. ZMB Lion says, at my last property, I didn't mind so much the free-range chickens. They didn't do too much damage, but now the ducks, oh, they are so bad. Ducks will trash your garden if they get into it. I don't know how people are like, you know, what you have is, you don't have too many slugs. You have a duck deficiency, right? You've heard that from the permaculture people. But I had ducks go through my garden. They absolutely shredded my transplants, destroyed my beds. They would just sit in the middle of a bed of transplants and eat them one by one. You know, taxes, that's why. You're exactly right. It's so stupid. I hate that. Just leave people alone. Thank you for posting the book links, Carolyn. Those are my books. Sean says, you kept telling me to eat the beans green, and it took me forever to realize you meant eating the beans green, not the pods, which are never green. It's always like, check with a local expert. Yeah. So funny. All right, so what are we going to sing? You know what I did recently? I limed my pastures, but I'm reading a very interesting book on lime. I think his name V.A. Tegens. Such a good book. Fascinating book. Better Crops Through Soil Science, written in the 1950s or 60s. But hey, Jetty Eddie. There's a truck in my field right, so sound like a Viking when you sing. That's good. I think that's good. I'm gonna find another song to play for you. I saw the requests. It's over. We're just doing requests now. Let's see. I had to lose 10 years, so I shaved my beard off. So what are you gonna do? Let's see. Where is it? I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the lyrics to my own songs. Can you believe it? There we go.
Sitting here worrying in the backseat of a car, worrying about the driver and hoping we aren't going far. 'Cause I don't have a seatbelt, don't want to get thrown out of the windshield of the car, where I'm worrying as I'm sitting in the backseat of a car. Worrying as we're fishing about the bones and the fishes that could get caught in our throats. And I'm worrying about the fishing licenses of the other fishermen fishing in our boat. If I ate one of the fishes and the bones got stuck in my throat, would the police throw me down on the ground as I choke and I choke and I choke and I choke and I choke? This world is a terrifying place. So I try, yes I try, yes I try, yes I try to keep a smile on my face. This world is a terrifying place. So I try, yes I try, yes I try, yes I try to keep a smile on my face. Worrying about the check and the letter that I put in the box where they get the mail. Will the furniture company get it in time? And if not, will I go to jail? Will they come and take the dresser and the bed and the chair? Will they come and take it too? 'Cause I don't wanna go there. So I'm worrying about the check and the letter that I put in the box where they get the mail. This world is a terrifying place. So I try, yes I try, yes I try, yes I try to keep a smile on my face. This world is a terrifying place. So I try, yes I try, yes I try, yes I try to keep a smile on my face. But I'm worried about the driver of the car. Yes, I'm worried about the driver of the car. Yes, I'm worried about the driver of the car.
Seems like forever since I writ an original song. Oh, rubbery eggs. There we go. I'm gonna have to sing Rubbery Eggs. It's been a long time since I sang that one. That's a good song. I have to see if I can find the lyrics though, because I don't remember it anymore. Did I write it down? I must have written it down. Come on. Did I not write the... I know I wrote the lyrics down to that. I must have. I have a search issue on my Macintosh that's been a problem for years. And it's like when you search for something and you want to find something, it gives you a huge amount of junk that's not related whatsoever. And somewhere in that huge list of junk is the thing that you're looking for. But it's very difficult to find it because you've got to scroll through a huge list of things. Now my computer is a 2011 Macintosh. That's what I edit all of my videos on. I do everything on this computer. It is the 2011 iMac. And I'm afraid to get a new one. This one still works, but I'm afraid to get a new one because I know it's supposed to be faster and everything. But I got a newer Mac a few years ago, and it died, and I went back to using my old one. So I don't know if they make them as well anymore, and I'm scared to stop something that works. So I guess I don't have the lyrics for that anymore. That's so weird. I know I own it. Somewhere. It's probably on like some backup drive or something, but who knows? Where are we? I should do a lyrics with chords books out of my song. That would be funny. That's an Apple product for you. Nothing you do is right. It's always all backwards. Yes, there's the David the Good Tunes channel. Thank you very much. Let me see if I can find... I have another... I've got to play you something else. Can't even find it. This is so sad. Gabe says I've never seen you without a hat. Hey, happy anniversary. Thank you. The chords for the Line Buggy song: A minor, C9, C9, G, and I think it's D2. It's a D where you leave the E open at the end, so you don't put your finger on the E string. You make most of it, but not the whole thing. Little Susie don't like hamsters 'cause they sneak into her room at night. Got a pen under her pillow so she can poke 'em in the eye, poke 'em in the eye. Won't let the catch her sleeping. She'll be alert when the hamsters are creeping. Poke 'em in the eye, 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 poke 'em in the eye. Little Johnny loves a hamster named Brian, gives him all his hugs and kisses. Sending out the hamster haters and the friends that sink and swim with the fishes. Well, snakes all smile and the lizards laugh. Brian the hamster's Johnny's little golden calf. So sing a song of picket fence, sing a song of pie. All my little homeboys poke 'em in the eye. Spin around the wheel, press your face up to the glass. Smile with your eyeballs as a pretty hamster's pass. I don't see a carving knife, but the guy sure tells. Poking eyes is a way of life. At least we are not snails. Well, thick for slick is on a kicky lick, making some shtick over who flicked his Vic. But he got nicked by Bisquick Dick, who always tricks dicks out of quick pick up sticks while they try to throw pies at the multicolored flies, wearing their itty bitty suits and ties. But the flies are quick and they know the trick. Poke 'em in the eye. Poke 'em in the eye, 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 poke 'em in the eye. Well, the hamsters I know are too cool for school. You know I take them swimming in my hamster swimming pool. So grab your sneakers, teach your hamster how to fly. And if he gets rowdy, just poke him in the eye. Poke him in the eye, 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 poke him in the eye. Ooh, 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 I don't quite have my voice back. The highs are a little rough there. I'm sorry. Sarah says, what on your thoughts on putting plants in the ground now? I bought a bunch of plants that grow fast and I'm itching to plant them, and I'm wondering if I should wait until the frost danger is past. I'm in 9B. Well, it kind of depends if your plants are tropical or temperate, because the tropical ones are gonna need a running start if they're to come back from the ground. If they're gonna come back from the ground. So basically, if it normally loses its leaves and goes through the winter like a blueberry, or like a pear, a peach, or an apple, just plant them in the ground and they'll sleep through the fall and they'll wake up happy in the spring. But if they normally freeze back, you probably don't want to plant that, because it's just a little plant without a great big root system, and it just ain't gonna be ready for the damage that it's gonna take on the top, and the roots won't be spread enough in the ground, and you're gonna have a frown because that plant's gonna melt and it's gonna never come back, and it'll never come back from the ground. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you for busking for us. Awesome. Thank you for the tip. And Leo Miranda Castro, I'm sorry I missed you there. Got in too late. I was hunting and got a huge wild boar. No good to eat. Oh, I know. When they get big, they get rancid. But I'm glad that you got the boar instead of the boar getting you. It will go into a huge melon pit. Next year, we will have bacon-flavored tomatoes. That's awesome. Throw in some heads of lettuce and a few jars of mayonnaise in that pit, and the BLT, the entirety of that flavor will be inside of those tomatoes. It is science. I am the science. You should trust me. I don't know what Tidal is. Maybe Tidal is a music streaming service. But I need some backup singers. That's right. Oh, where are we? Where are we? I hope HP makes it so you can fix things. I don't like that the Apple breaks and I have to go take it to a specialist. It's really, really hard. Like, you have to take the screen off to change the RAM. You know what I mean? Crazy. So let's see. So I answered the question on putting plants in the ground now. Is this David's more handsome, well-trimmed brother? I know, it's funny because my kids keep thinking that it's my oldest son that walked in. They're like, oh, every time I walk around the corner, it's like, Dad. Oh, that's so strange. I went to Halloween. I had to shave for a Halloween party. So, and I actually kind of like what it looks like. It does make me look younger. Why not? My beard was getting really gray. Why not? So since I converted to Catholicism too, I didn't want to look so orthodox. I mean, I don't know if we could still bless AK-47s, but it's cool. So, hey Raybuff Farm, nice to see you. I have not seen Wreck-It Ralph. All right, so let's see what we can sing here. Where are we? Could find it in the right key. Yeah, that'll do. Come on, stick to the... Go where I tell you. I don't know why it keeps switching keys. What? Wrong key. I cannot sing it in that key. That would not be good. What? There we go. What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear. All because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. Have we trials and temptations? Is there trouble anywhere? We should never be discouraged. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Can we find a friend so faithful who will all our sorrows share? Jesus knows our every weakness. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Are we weak and heavy laden, cumbered with a load of care? Precious Savior, still our refuge. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Do thy friends despise, forsake thee? Take it to the Lord in prayer. In his arms he'll take and shield thee. Thou wilt find solace there. I always love that one. It is classic. Classic. Let's see where we are here. Without the beard, you have to vape. No more cigars for you. I am playing a Taylor. This is a Taylor 310 CE. And it's not the highest end Taylor, but it's not the lowest Taylor. It's the middle Taylor, low middle Taylor probably, but it's in the middle, you know. So, it's, you know, after my dad died, I bought a Taylor. I said, you know, I've been playing pawn shop guitars and junky guitars my entire life. My main guitar was a $20 guitar that I got because it had been dropped at the music store and the top was cracked and the bridge had blown off. And so I put it back together, glued it, patched it, and I played it for multiple years. And it sounds all right. I still have it, but it doesn't sound great. And I thought, you know what? Life is short. I had a little extra money in my pocket. I said, since I'm here in South Florida for the funeral, I'll go to MAE Music. MAE Music is on Davie Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. Excellent independent music store. I love Mike Katz, the owner. Great guy. And so I went over there and I bought a Taylor. So I have a nice guitar and it plays great and it's wonderful and you know, sounds really nice. All right, where are we here? I just added some RAM to my farm. All I had to do was open the gate and pay the man $400. Okay, that's funny. How many pounds of pumpkin were you expecting this year total? I was expecting 500 pounds, but we didn't have very good growing out in the food forest, and so but the compost pile came in for me and gave us over 300, so I think we'll hit almost 400, but I wanted more than that, so. I look like a healthy meat-eating Mark Zuckerberg who got some sun. That's funny. Human. I planted some blue potatoes and they're doing great. They did really well for me. I planted the Adirondack Blues this spring. I loved them. Very nice. Koi says, my daughter loves singing Down to the River to Pray. We aren't Christian, but still enjoy the songs. Well, maybe one day you'll join us. That's wonderful. That's great. Down to the river. Arise, kill, and eat. Hey, could you sing something about how your face is a throwback and somehow work in that my birthday's tomorrow? This is hard. What happened to your face? Would you bring my old bro back? David the Good's face is a throwback. It's confusing to me. He used to have a beard. Now his beard is gone. He looks so weird. He looks just like his mom. What happened to the testosterone that he used to have? I guess he looks a little younger. But you're getting older, cause it's your birthday. Happy birthday tomorrow. First YouTube post. Arise, kill and eat. Arise, kill and eat, kill and eat. Happy birthday to Arise, kill and eat. Arise, kill and eat. There we go. Happy birthday. Oh, you know, there is a random song. There is a random song. I guess it's probably time that we do this random song again. How does it go? That's right, Alan. Well, I lay down in bed around the middle of the night, and then I felt so hungry, had to get up for a bite. So I looked in the fridge for something good to draw. Finally made a pile out of everything I saw. Well, I should have known better than to pack up my gut when I ate the snack food I deserve. When I got bad dreams all night, all night, all night. Bad dreams, bad dreams, bad dreams. Well, first I made a sandwich with 4 slices of bread. I didn't have a mayo, so I used ketchup instead. Grabbed a slice of ham and some other kind of meat. Packed in some marshmallows, topped it off neat. Then I had bad dreams all night, all night. Very, very bad dreams. All night, all night, all night bad. A string of sausages, a full cup of cream, a bag of pork rind and a pitcher of tea, 12 donuts plus some broccoli and cheese, 15 candies from a box of jelly beans. Then I had bad dreams all night, all night. Very, very bad dreams, bad dreams, bad dreams. All night, all night. Alright, so what did I eat? Start naming it. What kind of foods would give you bad dreams? I'm not sure what did me in. Could it have been that innocent sorbet? Or maybe the walnut bread my wife left out the night before? All I know is my sleep was fitful. Come on, we gotta start naming some food here. Some sour pickles, yellow number 5 winking at me, and the Dairy Queen, probably the C word. Salad gives me bad dreams. Mushrooms, the type that go on pizzas, not the other kind that come from dung piles. Dung piles, Carolina represents some garlic, chicken and courgettes. Persimmons, banana pancakes, cantaloupe, peanut butter sandwiches, chocolate covered crickets, tortellini, chimichurri burnt ants, aubergines, ooh, black olives, steaks and Kit Kats, Halloween candy, fresh sunchokes, arugula, 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 chayote, nutter butters, butterscotch, toad, and watermelon wine. Vegan pork rinds and ghee, garlic hot roast, and pot roast, and hot peppers, and oatmeals, and sardines, and beans, and bitter melon, shaving a haircut 2 bits. LOL. Like sapote, salmon, and fresh pickles, and seawords, junking lemon milk, parsnips. I'm not gonna say any drugs, Kevin. Knock it off or I'll kick you out. White sapote, sweet potato pie on the side of prime rib and papaya, candy corn, flaming toad eyes, chili rellenos, peanut butter on apples and dragon fruit and fried snickerdoodles, sweet potato pie, fried anything, and peaches and sweet pumpkin pie, rutabagas and pecans. Nice try, MG. Cherimoya and asparagus sorbet, strawberry shortcakes. And no, we're not gonna say the Z word either. Turkeys in Zurich. And $3 more for the tip jar. Thank you, Joe. You're the best man in the whole world. Cheese and greasy bacon seeds and pineapple quince and bacon and eggs for dinner. Cucumber melons, Melothrya pendula. Bad dreams all night, all night, all night. Bad dreams, bad dreams, bad dreams, bad dreams all night, all night, all night. I had bad dreams, very, very bad dreams all night, all night.
chili poblanos and passion fruit and nuka and sushi. And no, I'm not saying it, lettuce and Braunschweiger. And kale and bread and ice cream tacos, pumpkin sauce and pistachio and fettuccine, mineral salt water and parsnips and hominy and French toast and carrots. No, I'm not gonna eat that. That's gross. And an Alka-Seltzer that might have helped with the dreams. A Tromboncino squash, rum pineapple, wheat duck and a grape reduction, jalapeno and higgins. And that's too gross, Riverdale. I'm not eating that. And apples, pickled dog legs in Indonesia, and oysters and black cherry tomato. That was a gross one too. Beans and 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 beans. Some marshmallow fluff and prune juice and corn smut. And Alka-Seltzer again. And potato chips with Nutella and pigeon peas and pickled. Oh my goodness, it's getting weird. And sugar cane, canna, and blueberries and pigeon peas. Pigeons too, I'll eat both. Black licorice and sourdough rye and squirrels and rubbery eggs and a Stella cherry. Stella cherry's a low chill variety, by the way. And I have eaten crow before many times. And goulash and Pepto-Bismol fried chicken with extra bismuth, like Mama used to make it. Goldfish and strawberries and rubbery eggs and a 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola and an egg salad sandwich. My mom used to make egg salad sandwiches for us all the time. I never could stand them, but it was the only thing to eat, so I would just eat the bread. Rats and sour soft fruit, acidophilus, which is pretty much in all kinds of cultures. Potted goose meat and Indian tacos with extra curry. And durian, which tastes rather like boiled onions. I had it, it's bizarre. Sweet boiled onions. And a Thanksgiving dinner with salmon and PB&J and too much spiced rum, liver and Orthodox onions. Gochujang and Cheerios and nutmeg and various kinds of rice. Bad dreams, all night, bad dreams. There we go. I'm gonna stop there. That's enough food items. If I eat any more, I'll get fat, and then I won't look young anymore. Oh my goodness. I still have to record 30,000 years. Can you believe it? I still have not recorded that. It's amazing. I don't know how I didn't. I really should have recorded a long time ago, but I can never find the lyrics for it. I don't know what he did with the lyrics. Where is it? Because I never memorized all the lyrics properly. You should really hear it on the piano. It's really good on the piano. I wish I could do it. I can't find it. Where did it go? Come on. It must exist. I had it on here, but I think it might have been on the other drive. So I don't have it. I don't know what happened to it. I really should get I should get my life together, you know, and actually record all of these songs. But it's, you know, it's paying the mortgage and
that sort of thing. You know, you end up working on books and freelancing and doing all that kind of stuff, and you don't get around to the important stuff, like recording a proper full orchestral version of All I Had for Breakfast Was Rubbery Eggs. I buried my rabbit neath the cherry tree one fine afternoon. Someday I know that we'll meet again on a fruit salad spoon. Laid my hamster to rest last night beneath the pumpkin vine. Someday I know that we'll meet again in a Thanksgiving pie. If it dies when it's at my house, it'll end up in the soil. My trees are all fed by pets, shuffling off this mortal coil. Put my puppy neath the garden bed one early winter morn. Someday I know that we'll meet again in a lovely row of corn. If it dies when it's at my house, it'll end up in the soil. My trees are all fed by pets, shuffling off this mortal coil. Laid the taxman to rest last night beneath the money tree. I know that we'll never meet again, 'cause he won't be in heaven with me. If it dies when it's at my house, it'll end up in the soil. My trees are all fed by pets, shuffling off this mortal coil. Buried my rabbit neath the cherry tree one fine afternoon. Someday I know that we'll meet again on a fruit salad spoon. Well, guys, thank you for joining me. I hope to post a new video on the greenhouse tomorrow. We filmed clips over the last month as we were putting it together, and so I hope to finish that tomorrow, and then I will post it and you can see it. And don't forget that we have a plant sale. We have a plant sale. Plant sale. I'm writing it right now. Plant sale this Saturday from 8 to 1 at the nearby town of Atmore, where they have a flea market that is super cheap. They also have a nice little antique shop, multi-bay thing there. And that is in Atmore, Alabama, which is about half hour down the road. So if you want to come, and I will answer gardening questions. You don't have to buy anything, but you are welcome. We are having a big sale. I don't want to bring any plants back and take care of them through the winter. I want you to take them home and take care of them. So we will have cuttings and some rare stuff that we don't normally have, like yam bulbils and cassava cuttings of multiple varieties. We will also have sugarcane, and we will have pumpkins, and we'll have all kinds of interesting rare stuff. Potato mint and lemongrass and Eleagnus, which is actually in bloom right now. It's going to make some fruit, which is really cool. So I'm writing this down. plant sale this Saturday from 8 to 1 at the Atmore Flea Market. If you're within an hour or so, please come and see me. And thank you guys for the tips. It's nice to see you again. Thank you, Old Grumpy Gardener. Says, popped onto the stream for the first time ever. Needed that laugh. Bless you all. Thank you very much. And Pam, thank you very much for the nice show. I appreciate your super chat. Have a wonderful evening. I got to get rolling. So this is All Souls Day. We celebrated All Saints Day for the very first time yesterday, which was really amazing. Beautiful. Kids dressed as saints and all that. It was really cool. It was a bit of church history that we didn't know about, but we do now. So anyhow, God bless you all. Have a great weekend. I hope to see you at the plant sale. If not, watch for my next video and be sure to check the blog. If you get bored of me not getting enough videos up, go to thesurvivalgardener.com where I post every weekday. I've always got to post every weekday. There's a moderately active comment section. People ask questions. I answer questions. People have good suggestions. They share ideas and plants, etc. So that is thesurvivalgardener.com. And remember, I was a writer first before a YouTuber, so I still stick to doing my daily writing. It keeps me, it just keeps me on a schedule because creative people tend to fall apart, and I don't want to do that. So get up in the morning, do the post. So there you go. God bless you all. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you, good gardeners who support this channel, and to all of you who showed up tonight. Have a great time. And until next time, may your thumbs always be green.